And what we'll be doing now, your life, the second session is your life is a project, active life management. So hopefully you caught from that first exercise, your philosophy of what governs your life experiences. Active life management. And our desire is that at the end, you will be able to explain your life as a change introduced to happen on earth within your lifetime, within your time here. You'll be able to explain active life management as controlling human behavior, and then explain life success as materializing the change built in and expected from your life. You'll be able to explain your role in fulfilling your change assignment in this world. Because of course, up to now, majority of us, what we know about it is we pray about it and expect it to happen. Remember, in the last session that we picked up this scripture, each person is given something to do that shows who God is. And we said that statement establishes your potential and how your life is designed to end in this world is to reveal God. So anybody who has not revealed God has not lived their lives. And I'm praying that that statement, even though you may agree with it, that is true, because we see it happening a lot around us, that you don't think is irrelevant. Because normally what happens is whatever is common in the society is accepted as normal. But each person is given something to do. And of course, when I say each person, it's better you put your name. You've been given something to do that reveals God in this world before you. And that's how you are supposed to finish. By the time you leave, God will be made evident, uniquely made evident in the things that happen through your life. Your life is a project, we say, because there are 5 characteristics that identify a project. Projects have been studied, books written about them, a lot of lesson trainings, and they even have a professional body for project management. And there are 5 characteristics that identify a project. Number 1 is that anything that is called a project is temporary. It doesn't last forever. That thing has a start and it finishes. Then that's why it's called a project, because it will start and finish at some point. Second thing about a project is that it is unique. It's normally something that is not there, that is now being put in place, whether it's a bridge or building a house or erecting a school. They are all things that we are not there, and then they get put in place. That's why they have a time for starting to put them in place and a time to finish putting them in place. That uniqueness has happened. Another thing about a project is that it introduces a change. It is put in the place to alter the scenario. So if you had a picture of the place before the project starts, when the project finishes, the picture will be different. That's the characteristics of a project. The fourth thing about a project is that it normally carries uncertainty. There are things that are going to happen within the time of trying to put a project in place, to do the project, that they can't predict. They are aware, project management circle, they're always aware that winds will blow. Within the time of installing the project, winds will blow. That we don't know which direction they come from. We are conscious of it, and we plan for it. The fifth thing about a project is that it is cross-functional. It normally involves a lot of expertise from diverse areas of life. And can I ask you now, do you think each of these, let's start on the first one. Life, your life, do you think is permanent or temporary? What do you think? And all of you are muted, but if you don't answer me, I will not be able to know what you're thinking. So I need interaction.
It's very temporary.
And I need everybody to participate. Jeremiah, I have not heard you. Can you answer me, please? Are you still there? So that's the thing about putting off your phones. I don't know whether you're still there or whether you've gone to the kitchen or gone somewhere else.
No, I'm here.
Okay. Right. Can you answer me, Jeremiah? Did you hear what I asked?
No, really, I didn't get the question.
Okay. Distractions. I said, can you see the things I'm showing on the screen, Jeremiah?
Yeah, I'm saying it.
Right. The first one there, temporary. And I asked whether that describes the human life or not.
Yes, it describes human life is temporary. It's not something permanent for a period of time.
Okay.
On earth.
That's right. Ihoma, I have not heard Ihoma's voice. I don't know. Can you please talk about the next point? Does that describe a human life or not? Is Ihoma there? Right. I am not sure she's there.
I'm here, but I'm driving. So I cannot. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Unique. A human life is unique. We have a scripture that says it already. Each person is given something to do that reveals God in the world. In fact, not even the scriptures, our normal society even recognizes that. That's why they use the uniqueness of your thumbprint to identify you. You know, that no two people in the world has the same thumbprint. So even the physical human body is unique. That the individual that occupies that body, we say it's unique. Each one of us introduces a change. Each human being is on earth to cause a change. Each person is given something to do. So each human life is here to do something, to cause a change. And there are uncertainties governing every human life. That one we are very familiar with. Uncertainty. What will happen tomorrow? Who knows tomorrow is a common phrase we use. Nobody knows tomorrow because things will happen tomorrow that we don't control. That happens with human lives. And then the human life is cross-functional. What you've been given to do to reveal God is usually bigger than you can acquire the skills for by yourself. And we can give examples, you know, like what Mother Teresa was given to do, or what Nelson Mandela was given to do. Each one of them is bigger than themselves. There are other skills, other people from other functions were required to materialize that destiny they carried. And any other example that we're going to mention. So each of our lives is temporary, came here to cause a change, is unique. And the uncertainties that are governing life govern us as it happens to our lives as well. All of that are designed into the equation of our lives and requires skills and knowledge and expertise that is bigger than us. And yet, we are the ones carrying that uniqueness to deliver to society, each of us. So your life is here to introduce a change. Think about this example. When I mentioned Nelson Mandela, what change did his life introduce in the world? I am surprised that you are taking time to answer me these questions because it tells me either the level of engagement I'm having, because many of you are doing other things and just put me in your background and I'm just talking to a black screen. I normally insist that people put their videos on so I can see them. I know whether you are here or not. I can know how many people we have. The reason I'm not insisting on that because number of you are not from UK and there are internet connections and the videos will demand more data and therefore it becomes slower. So I'm allowing you to put your videos up. But in the training, I normally insist on having our videos on. But please, Answer me and
No.
answer me as soon as I can know whether you are here.
Apartheid. He fought apartheid.
Particularly those of you that were not there last week. You are here for the first day. It's because of you that I set up this data session second time. So please, I need to know that you're paying attention. I need to know you're here. Okay, Nelson Mandela, apartheid. How about Florence Nightingale?
I don't know about that one.
So in terms of kind of medicine, how she was influential in terms of her facts.
Yeah, modern nursing.
Nursing profession.
Nursing profession. She's the one that started, that introduced it into our existence. The modern nursing. How about Thomas Edison?
Electricity, huh?
Electricity is one that brought us light bulb that we are using today. Light bulb. How about Wilberforce?
Slave trade.
Stopping the slave trade. Okay, Mary Slessor?
Stopping the killing of twins.
Stopping the killing of, particularly in the southeast of Nigeria, the transformation that happened in the culture there. Bill Gates?
IT, information technology.
Okay. All of these, your significance in the world is in implementing the change you represent. Each of us represents something. Like all those names I just gave, each of them represents something. Now they have lived their lives. They have manifested what they carry, so we can see it. Yours probably hasn't come out yet. So when we mention your name, nothing comes to our minds yet. Because what you are wired to do, you haven't done it yet. But your significance in this world is in implementing the change you represent in the world. Each of us is given something to do. Very legitimate question, therefore, to ask is, why are you here? And you should be able to answer that question. Why are you here? So I ask you to make a list of the problems you can think of in your society. Can you take 30 seconds or a minute to list something, right? What are the different problems? Maybe I'll ask you to name it. What are the different problems that exist in our society, on your society where you are? Please, quickly.
Corruption.
Corruption. I wonder why you are thinking about it. Maybe you don't know whether there are problems in your society.
In my immediate society here, the problem we have is with the youth and the so many things that they are exposed to, that is breeding violence and just so many abnormalities in the community.
Okay.
Children talking back at their parents.
Okay.
Children.
Violence. You mentioned violence. Just violence. You mentioned violence. Just take violence. Corruption.
Tribalism.
Corruption. Tribalism.
Yes, tribalism.
Okay. Many of them. I'm sure that there are economic problems in almost every country. Okay. And many of the things. Question then. Next question to ask is, which one do you think, which one of these problems do you think you are given to resolve? All those names I mentioned before, the reason why we mentioned their name, the reason why their name is etched in history is because they resolved a problem in society. Each of us is wired like that. That's the emphasis you are trying to lay here now. Do you remember Genesis 2:15? God made man. Can I ask every phrase in that scripture? In fact, maybe you can back out to Genesis 1:26, where he said that God made man in his own image. Do you think you are in the image of God or not? Please answer me.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are? Okay.
Yes, I was made.
And he said he made man in his likeness. Do you think you are in the likeness of God or not?
Yep.
You are. Okay, down to chapter 2, verse 15. God took the man he made and placed him in a garden and told him, walk the garden or alter the society. Do you think that's you or not?
Yeah.
That's me.
That's each of us. Each person is wired to alter society. And the question we're asking now, of course, from the examples I gave you in the last slide, you see how that scripture works out in real life. Real problem in society resolved by somebody spearheading it. Each of the examples I mentioned to you are individuals spearheading the resolution of a permanent resolution of an issue in society. Permanent resolution. So your life is shaped like that. And the question I'm just asking you now, which one of all these problems that you have mentioned do you think you are given to resolve? Okay, I know I may not get an answer now, so I might just drop it in your mind to be thinking about that. The significance is in the problem you are born to solve. That's where your significance is. Made that statement before, and there are these examples that we gave already. There are two parallel balancing. That's the key challenge that every human being faces. Balancing two parallels, competing imperatives. The pressure to survive, to put food on the table, have a roof over our head, and pay our necessary bills. Contrasted with the desire and the design to transform yourself and your operations in order to fulfill the reason you came to earth. Majority of us get lost in the pressure to survive. In fact, our society mostly raises us up in that lost state. Hence, somebody studied the way humans function and developed what he called the hierarchy of needs, Maslow. The Maslow. That a human being prioritizes his stomach first. And if the stomach is not fed, he doesn't think about anything else. And after his stomach, he thinks about his accommodation, where to live. Those basic, called the basic needs. His biological existence is primary in his consciousness before anything you call living life. In fact, in many minds, just breathing in and out is living life. That's what they understand as living. So you have these two competing things in our minds, being able to look ahead and decide how to engage personal development and transformation to maximize impact in the world and the fulfillment of destiny. Something many of us don't even know what it is for their own personal lives. So, but at the foundation of life lie what we call principles, fixed laws of life that govern how things work and guarantee that things will work. We have used principles to make aeroplanes fly because we learned about them. We can make rockets. We have used principles to develop ships that fly the ocean. Guaranteed that they will float on water. Principles is what we use to even design a guaranteed shape of our bodies. You know, a lot of things begin to come to my mind now, particularly when it comes to our life, our personal, our life, biology, you know, everything about our human life. If you imagine our various societies, what kind of superstitious belief systems we have encountered, you know, carried in our heads is responsible for our human experiences. But principles, when we learned about them, we fixed things, how they happen, and they happen that way because we fixed them. We have used principles to fix how the shape of our bodies will be. And people that follow certain exercise regimes and eating regimes bring the shape of their bodies to that way. It works because it's a principle of life. Principles to determine what the other interactions we have with our environment. Question, what is management? I looked up that word in in the web dictionary, and it has that phrase: the process of dealing with or controlling what happens or what is done. Principles. The process of dealing with or controlling what happens or what is done. For example, the bouncer at the door is controlling who enters and who doesn't enter. He's managing the door. The person manages their weight. They control what gets into their body and what does not get into their body. They are actively controlling that. They are not praying about it. They're not leaving it to God or to any force outside of themselves. They are actively controlling what happens in their own physical bodies. The pilot manages the landing of the plane. He actively controls how the plane functions and how it lands. Winds are blowing, trying to blow him off, but he's controlling it. He's controlling it actively. The results of active management in nations. When there is that kind of practice in a nation where there's active control of what happens, you get the results. In a managed society, and you get a different result in a society where nobody is controlling actually what happens. These are familiar with, and I won't spend time with you on this. But the disparity between managed society and unmanaged society is in this process of controlling or dealing with what happens and what is done. That's the WhatsApp I saw. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? No, yesterday. This, I think that WhatsApp was taken in the it's a white lady. I don't know whether it's UK or US, but from the WhatsApp and the things surrounding it, I think it's either UK or US. It's a white lady that went to the shop and stole. In fact, they didn't know the camera has caught her. The security people caught her when she was stuffing things into, I don't know what you've seen it, stuffing things into her big, was what this big, what Nigerians call abada, that has huge pockets that is unseen. She stuffed it with all kind of produce in the store. She didn't know the camera, the security guy was watching her. So when she stepped outside the shop, they accosted her and they put camera on her. And they asked her to start removing those things. And she started bringing them out. You would think she went for shopping. About a bunch of things, packaged meat, different kind of, even something like this huge Bonvita thing, as big as my cup here, if you can see it, but bigger than this. About 5, 6, 7 of them. All of them stuck inside her. But because she was wearing these big clothes, you would think she was just fat. You wouldn't know that they are all things that she loaded on herself. And she brought all of those things out. And the guy said, okay, now go. So the person that posted that WhatsApp made a comment underneath. He said, if it is in Nigeria, you have had a Jagger tire over her neck. It was important her should be burnt. Now, please, those of you in Nigeria, can you confirm, is that true or false? Please answer me. False. Please answer me.
True. Very true. Without beating herself.
She will be dead. She'll be dead. No consequence of whatever made her do that. It has happened several times back home in Nigeria. And I'm talking about a lady that stole, but we have cases of people who didn't even steal. They just said the wrong word and they are burnt. And nobody controls that. Nobody controls that. They are linked. Nobody controls that. The government doesn't say anything. Nothing. I mean, like people just, those that are alive, just move on. Anything can happen anytime. So you get a society that is not managed. Different from the society that is managed, where if anything happens, somebody takes responsibility for what goes on. And that makes the difference between classification of third world and first world nations. That's where the difference comes from. We are actively, what happens is being controlled. What we are bringing out here is that the same happens for individual lives. Can you read out that phrase again for success, please? Somebody read out that.
A few simple disciplines practiced every day. This starts a whole new life.
Discipline. controlling what happens and what is done in my individual life, controlling it. That's a new life, because error is where no control. A few errors in judgment, I don't do anything about it, so it goes away, just leave it. And then it repeats and repeats. A habit is formed. And that habit brings me to an outcome that I would not like, but that's my habit that brought it. Why active life management? Why is it important to actively manage what happens in individual lives? Please give you the answer there, because there is a destiny, there's a destination to be reached. You came here to cause changes. If you don't actively control what happens in your life and with your life, and actively don't actually control what happens or what is done, it's not likely you will get to the destination. You will not get there. So that's why it is important, necessary to think about what we are talking about now. The fulfillment of purpose comes from conscious, active application of life principles. Active. And there's no automatic driver to look beyond survival. Everybody is faced with a pressure of survival. Some of us are in an environment where the pressure is higher, and then some of us are in an environment where the pressure is less. But nobody, there's no automatic driver to make you look beyond survival. So even those that are in the United Kingdom or United States, majority of them are not fulfilling their destiny. They have less pressure on survival on their lives, but there is none of them, many of them are even aware they have a destiny to fulfill. They're not even conscious of it. So again, it's not environment that makes the outcome of human life. The framing of your mind. And unless you become conscious of what your life is about and decide to make it happen, it will not happen. It will not happen. Life management is a critical skill. It's for personal transformation that takes life beyond survival to fulfilling destiny. Do you remember that picture? The picture of that guy there? Anybody remember who is in that picture?
Martin Luther King.
That's right. He was once a baby, like you saw over there, helpless, crawling, like each one of us came into this world. And then transformation took place all through his life period. And he became, and now when we mention Martin Luther King today, please, what comes to your mind?
Freedom.
Yeah, freedom.
Yeah.
I guess an activist, black activist.
Yeah, activist is what he was, but freedom is the outcome of his activism. They brought about the freedom of the blacks in the United States in particular to be able to express themselves and have a place in society. That's the significance of his life. Each of us has that significance. That's what I'm pointing out again. We all come in here helpless. We all come in here to metamorphose, be transformed, and become who we came to become. And the results will show that we came. Every one of us. Implementing the change you represent on this earth is the reason why the metamorphosis must happen. Authentic life success, therefore, is defined as fulfilling the change that you came to bring about. The change built into you and expected to flow out of your life. That's when you can say your life succeeded. Otherwise, regardless of how many cars you get, or which country you go and live in, or how many houses, or whatever kind of external acquisition of this world you get, your life has failed woefully if the transformation of society that is wired into you never happens. Either because you're not even aware of it, or survival pressure caught your attention that you couldn't give attention to who you really are and what your life is about? When will your life become a success? Answer me, please. I'm asking, when will your life become a success?
When you've been able to.
Sorry, Bright. What did you say?
Oh, somebody was speaking before me. Okay.
I think when you have achieved the goals you set for yourself.
Based on what you just said, when you've been able to transform people or events around you for better, then you've succeeded. In other words, when you have impacted people positively or processes positively. And just like the theme of this session is to reveal God in you.
Yeah. Well,
I will
you
say
are
when
partly
you discover your purpose and you
go on, Judy. Sorry, I'll make quiet.
go on, Judy. Sorry, I'll make quiet now because okay. I said when you discover the purpose for which God has brought you to this earth and you fulfill it, you feel successful.
That's it. You know, you could achieve goals, and I know that's what you hear from motivational speakers. Set goals for yourself, and you can, In fact, when you get the book, the book one on this course, Take Charge of Your Life, you will see a story in that book about a boy that was sent to go and get food for his father. And he went, and on his way back, saw his friend playing football. He got interested in the football, set goal to be the best man of the match, joined the match and won, and was clapped and applauded by everybody. He won the goal. I mean, it was the talk of the town. The night came, the owner of the ball carried it, but everybody went, go back to your parents. And he couldn't go back home because the food he bought, he dropped to go and play football. By the time he came to carry it, they played. The dogs have eaten the food. And what he now was an empty, dirty plate. He was taking it. Was he very successful? He set a goal to be the man of the match, and he succeeded. He was the man of the match. I'm asking you, was his life very successful? That boy, was his life very successful?
No.
No. Why? But he achieved the goals, he said. He did achieve them. But that wasn't the goal for his life. That wasn't why he was sent. He forgot about what he was saying, set goals for himself because he saw what goals other people set for themselves. He saw the people that are playing football and enjoying themselves, and he also joined. And of course, he outclassed all of them. They still couldn't go home joyfully. He couldn't go home. He was afraid of going home. Like some of us are afraid of dying. He was afraid of going home.
Okay.
Because he forgot what he must have got out of his mind, and he did his own thing. Succeeded at it, but he doesn't want to go home. Till you discover what you are sent, and you are sure you fulfill, you're able to talk like Paul. I have run the race. I've finished the course, and I know there's a crown awaiting me because I know what I came for, and I've done it. I know the prize I'll get. Until you're able to talk like that, your life has not succeeded. It does not matter how many cars you have or how many goals you set for yourself and achieve them. Until you look forward to death. Your critical role, your conscious engagement with destiny, the change you are wired for, you have a critical role to play. And that role is controlling what happens and what is done. Successful implementation requires a project manager for any project, So if we have identified your life as a project, now you know your project needs a manager. If the project is going to be implemented, it needs a manager. Who is accountable for the success or failure of the project. And You have been appointed the project manager of your life. Some of us will wish God is the project manager of our lives. But it's not. You are. And we'll talk about it more in the next session. As the project manager, you take care of planning the project, the implementation of your life. You take care of executing the implementation of your destiny, and you take care of monitoring and controlling what happens through the process of implementing your destiny on earth. It's a consciously done thing. You consciously do it. It doesn't happen by itself and will never happen by itself. You do this in all aspects of life to achieve life objectives. So sure, you have to set goals, but it will be goals that take you to your known destination. Destination you have discovered is yours on earth. You set goals to get there. You plan to achieve those goals. You execute the actions you planned. You monitor what happens through the time process of implementation to make sure that it takes you to the destination your life is wired for. You got to discover that wiring. It is a knowable thing. And that's what this course will make you find out. So your life is successful, and successful delivery of any project needs active management. That's what we are saying. It must be controlled to successfully arrive at a planned destination. Your life must be actively controlled to successfully arrive at a planned destination. If your life is just gone on and you focus on survival, you will. So, because you're temporary, your time will finish, like each one of us. But it will be full of regrets. Full of regrets. Now you should be able to explain your life as a change introduced to happen on earth within your time here. Earth is supposed to alter. Within the time you're here, Earth is supposed to alter. And I hope you got that picture concerning you. You should be able to explain that active life management is controlling what happens and what is done, your human behavior every day. And explain that life success is a fulfillment of the change project introduced, built in, and expected in your life. And explain your role in the fulfillment of your change assignment in this world. Typically, I take time to discuss this, but because of time, I am not giving you a chance to discuss it. But of course, if you have questions, I would like to take the questions. We can discuss the questions. So, do you have questions, basically, in what we have just shared?
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Are you saying something, Bright?
Yes, Bright wants to ask a question.
You need to come closer to the microphone. I'm not hearing.
Oh, I want to ask a question based on our discussion this morning.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate the statement you put through to us. I'm grateful to this opportunity. You know, we're talking about we are being wired to fulfill our
You're breaking, Bright. I'm just getting few words and then I lose the other words. Then I get some and I lose the other. So I need to hear what you're saying. So I can know. No, it's very faint at the back.
Okay. I can type it in the chat.
No, go on. If you're talking, I'm hearing you now.
Okay. Okay. You know, I thank God for INT and Rema Bible Church that helped me to know that I am created for a purpose in life. You talk about me coming to life, thinking of myself, my family. That in fact, that is what I was living on until I joined Rema Bible School, and then INT. And I've been praying anyway, looking to know what is the problem attached to my life to be changed in my own area of the world. And the passion I had at times when I go on the street, see some going on, I will be, oh, I wish I could see how to fix this aspect of youth running the street for useless things. And another time we'll be thinking of children, thinking of widow, but all this, I do not really pick out what I should focus on.
Okay.
So my question is, how do I really know the area that God destined for me to work on? Because I want to leave an imprint before I leave the earth. So that is my question.
Okay. That question is answered in this course. In fact, that's how we start. What I'm going to say, tester session, and many of the things I'm doing with you are things we deal with in Workbook 1. I think you can see it on my Workbook 1. This Workbook 1, how take charge of your life. All the things I'm sharing with you this morning is this book. But after this, Workbook 2 is, can you see it? Yeah,
yes.
You can read it.
Oh, it's not 12 for my reading.
Okay, I said, can you see Workbook 2? The title is Discover Your Purpose, Your Life Purpose, Your Vision, and Your Mission. That's what we treat in Workbook 2 through a session similar to what we are having today.
Okay.
So you will discover definitely what your life purpose is. We help you not only discover what it is, but work out what your vision, how your life will end, how the world will look like by the time you finish your life on earth. We help you, it guides you to work it out. And of course, Workbook 3 to set goals to make that happen. And then Workbook 4, we deal with systems and all the rest of the workbooks. They guide you to actually design your operations, to daily operations, to make that materialize on earth. So it's not just talk. There's a lot of activities to do. But will guide you every detail. They're all given in that's what the course is about.
Okay, sir. So how do I get these books? How can I get them?
Currently, they are. Where are you? Are you in Nigeria or somewhere? Where are you in Nigeria?
I'm in Nigeria.
Okay, they are in Amazon as ebooks currently. We are still making arrangement to get them printed in Nigeria. Okay. But they are in Amazon as ebooks. Okay. That's Kindle. Any other question? Hello?
Sorry, I didn't get the last part, how to get it.
I said they are in Amazon as Kindle, the Kindle books. It's published as a hard copy and as Kindle book. So in the Amazon Kindle.
Okay.
In any case, if you do the full course, you will get all the books anyway. So any other question? Okay, I need to put an exercise for you.